Hey y'all, welcome back to Bojo Mojo Designs. I've got a quiet house, so even though the lighting isn't fantastic, I thought I would go ahead and do a little bit of a flip through my art journal and show you kind of what I've been up to for the last little bit. So when we left off last time, I had finished this, and I kind of got on a soapbox about all that. And then from there, I did some more mandalas. This, I wanted to show you guys actually before it was all glued down, but that video got lost. I had originally planned on making this, all the flowers and everything, and putting a banner with the word spring in it. And got it all finished and then realized that I had completely misspelled spring. I think in my haste, I just forgot the R. But I'd already gone to all of the work, and it's not like I'm going to rip out the pages. So I was trying to figure out how I could kind of accommodate and make it work anyway. And I happened to have this little You Are My Sunshine piece that I had painted. So I just cut it down to size and glued it right over my mistake. So if you're one of those people that feels like, oh, I'd love to do an art journal, but I'm afraid of making mistakes and everything needs to be perfect and all of that, trust me, by no means are you alone in that, but also nobody's is perfect. That's part of the creative process, is making mistakes and then trying to figure out how to correct those mistakes, or at least make them look like they're not mistakes. And sometimes you can't, so you cover it up, and that's all good. Over on this page, I just put a little flipper thing. Excuse me. Nothing very exciting. Just kind of wanted to use up some scrap papers, and was really just thinking about grace during this one, and just God's grace in my life has been pretty amazing. This one, I put washi on both of the sides, and I did this mandala again while I was at dance waiting for my daughter. And then I just surrounded it with this little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine. I don't know why, but I just sort of did. This is an idea that I've always loved since I was a little kid, bloom where you're planted. And it's come up time and time again in my life, and have kind of been struggling with it, actually. And one of my struggles, and I'm sure any number of people can relate, is just comparing themselves to other people. I know when you're on Pinterest and Instagram and Facebook and all of those things, it's easy to look at what other people are doing and feel like they're so much more ahead of the game. They do things so much better, and just really playing that comparison game. And so I'm trying to really focus on the fact that my journey is different than anyone else's journey. And I might not be where I want to be, but I'm further along than I was even a year ago, even 3 months ago. I'm in a different place now. And when it comes to things like art or hand lettering or music or dance or accounting, for Pete's sake, everything takes practice. And the more you practice something, the better you become at it. But to just be happy with who you are. So in here I wrote a prayer, and then I don't know if you can see over here, this is just a cut up from a magazine, and it says identity. It's kind of a good way to stretch your pages, is to add that little flap. Here were a couple of writing challenges that I did for some hand lettering challenges. And another mandala. I love mandalas. I'm going to do a tutorial on mandalas one of these days, if you all are interested in that. This was another one of the lettering challenges, and it's Nouns to Live For by @Ruckus and Rosie. And I think this was March. It was just really, I liked all of the words that they had on there. And I didn't want to just do one at a time. So I thought I'd just fill the whole page up with the words that they had used for their challenge, because I thought it was really cool. I was sick. I was sick. That's all there is to say about that. It looked actually kind of cute, and then I started doing other stuff while I was sick, and it got really not cute really fast. Oh well. This is something that I just tried out while I was actually laid up in bed sick for a couple of days. I was watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I watched several on Japanese art called suminagashi, which means floating ink, and it's just a marbling technique. And it's a lot of fun. It's kind of challenging, but it was a lot of fun. I had a good time with it. And then I was just doing weird swatches. I don't know why, but I was just playing with plaid, I guess. Here you can see again the suminagashi there. And just another prayer. And this is the bulletin from our church bulletin. And I cut it out because at the bottom it says, "Today when you hear his voice, do not harden your heart. Life comes from listening and obeying." And I just thought that was really applicable to me right now, because sometimes I don't always want to do what I know I need to do. And I harden my heart to it. So, so again, this was, I just laid down a wash of green, and then I came back to it a couple days later, actually, and added a little bit of blue, and I added the wreath, just kind of goofing around with some things. This spread has actually developed over the course of several days. It started off as just, well, that wasn't there, but it was just this drawing and the verse. And it was inspired by a day that I had spent with my mom and my sister-in-law and my daughter. And we just talked about what it means to be a woman, and the different stages of growing up. From being a teenager like my daughter up to my mom's age, where she's caring for her mother in her final stages of life. And so there were a lot of tears, and it was just a really neat thing. And then in an old Mary Englebright magazine, there's this poem that's called The Tear Jar, so I added that as well. Again, this is another prayer. I just kind of did one of those, you put paint down on a surface, and I used wax paper, and then you kind of press your paper into it and splotch it around a little bit, and I came up with these 2 pages. And then I added one of those, you know, these plastic sheets. It has a name. I just don't remember it. It's not vellum, but it's like that. So anyway, over here is a prayer, and then just goofball stuff. And this, I was thinking about this. My husband's aunt is now living with his parents for a while, and she's away from her grandkids, and she's got 3 little granddaughters, and she calls them her bunnies. And I was thinking about how amazing it is that as she's moved here to our neighborhood, she's really taken our kids on as kind of additional grandchildren. And yet she still maintains a relationship, obviously, with her own little grand bunnies. And I just think it's really neat and special. So I kind of did this as a little way of just reminding my heart about how happy Gigi makes me and our whole family. So that's it. That's all I have so far. You can see I've got paint splotches from getting crazy. But, you know, it's okay. It'll all blend in. So that's what I've been up to. And I've been making books, which is a lot of fun. And if you are interested in that, go check out my Etsy account. It's Bojo Mojo Designs. And check me out on Instagram at Bojo Mojo Designs. And if you like this, go ahead and subscribe. Give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up. And I'll do a couple more as I feel inspired. So anyway, I hope you guys are having an awesome night. I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of this quiet evening to myself. So talk at you later. Bye.